wait to buy new games. You're never gonna get what you want. Just wait
at
until some user
GDC.
guide
Just
reviews it and
66
watch the video.
titles saw 80% of
spoil
all
the game and
playtime in
then have fun.
2023, and most of them were older games. So a lot of the new games that
Better
come
not to
out
be
nowadays.
disappointed, I guess.
Uh-oh.
66 titles saw 80% of the playtime in 2023. Most of them being old, quotation mark, games like Fortnite or Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, I mean, by the definition, yes, that is true. See, I've been seeing this statement being bandied
Which,
around
to be fair, I mean, Fortnite is a very different game than it was whenever it came out.
True.
a little bit, as
Yeah,
if it is an
very
indication
different.
that the good old days were simply so much better than they are today. But the good old days, well, in this case, the good old days are still pretty much the bad current year days, in my opinion. And the whole thing in and of itself is hardly that groundbreaking as well. We had reports from 2022 as well, basically stating the same thing. As it turns out that a game literally designed to be played forever, Fortnite, is being played forever.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
But what I think is more important and interesting to point out about this entire survey here, which basically suggests that most of the games played are simply quite old on PC.
I wonder how big the difference is between Fortnite and the other ones.
Because granted, it's online.
Because I bet Fortnite completely blows them out of the water.
9.6 years.
It's probably like a 2x or a 3x.
Xbox 7.2, with only the Nintendo Switch having a 3.9. Now, a 4-year period is hardly a blink of an eye, but considering the average development time of video games, a 4-year period of domination by certain titles makes a lot of sense, really.
Yeah.
You also got Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom,
That's a new game.
Mario Bros. Wonders, Mario Kart 8. Like, these aren't, you know, Fortnite-style games. Or Grand Theft Auto, which has also kind of become a Fortnite.
And you guys see, like, imagine if you're a game publisher or a game developer and you see these charts. You are probably going to come to the conclusion that what you need to make is a live service game. I mean, I think this is what anybody would come to the conclusion for.
Almost all of them fail because...
Yeah, I mean, it's common sense when you think about it.
Shut up, man. Okay. Just hear me out. Nobody's gonna play every live service game on the planet. Because when you play those games, you can't really come back. You have to play them now. And you have to play them for hours on end, yeah? So nobody's gonna play every single one. You just play one, maybe two every once in a while with your friends. Like, play Fortnite with your friends sometimes, yeah? Nobody plays like 4 or 5 of these consecutively at the same day, every day. Nobody has the time for that.
Night game or Minecraft, you know?
So that's why it doesn't
Though
work.
there aren't a whole lot of, strictly speaking, single-player games on the list.
So why would you play a newer one?
Starfield.
When all your friends are doing the old one.
I don't
How did Starfield get number 8, man? That's crazy. I mean, you do see a number of, like, single-player games. I don't know if The Sims is single-player. None of these are. Like, Starfield is. Like, for Switch, you do. Zelda, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Terrible, man.
You can play with other people, but it's basically a single-player game. Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Hogwarts Legacy. Like, these are games that I would assume that the majority of people that buy and play the game play it solo.
How the hell Starfield got on this list at all, honestly.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of very weird people out there, that's all I can really say. And Hogwarts Legacy. I think, if anything, the most important takeaways from this thing is 2. 1, it completely and utterly disproves the Warner Bros. Statement we saw a few weeks ago that, oh, the video game industry is crashing because it's just so darn unreliable. We just can't tell what's going to be popular. It's so volatile, you understand. No, not at all. The video game industry is not particularly volatile in the slightest. In fact, its primary problem appears to be that it's
Roblox every fucking year for years, dude.
Yeah, people are too invested into the existing games to play new games. That's one of the big problems, and that's why these companies keep trying to make their really big live service games, because if they can make their big live service game and make it up to the chart, people care a lot about People care a lot about playing the game that's popular.
Yeah.
Because again, like, you know, if you're playing a game that nobody cares about, it doesn't really matter if you're good at it or not. But if you're playing a game like Fortnite that's really popular and you're able to show that off, like the sense of reward that you get from that is going to be a lot higher. It just kind of makes sense whenever you think about it.
Yeah, but also, like, casuals, they just watch it on YouTube. They don't know every fucking game that's releasing. They watch it on YouTube, they watch their friends talk about it, and then they play. And you play with your friends, right? The most fun playing these online games is with your friends. So obviously most people are gonna default to the one that's already popular. So it's gonna be even more popular. So trying to make a new live service game is just really, really hard to make it pop off, because you're starting with nothing and you always have a disadvantage. Even the advantage you get from having a new, fresh game is so little compared to the millions of players that already played these games, right?
And like that's why players stay invested in these games, and it's also because, like, you know, you have years of FOMO that have been built up in a game like Fortnite or a game like Roblox maybe, or Rocket League, like different things, Fall Guys. They have skins, everything in the game. So you put all that together and yeah, people are going to want to stick with those games because they're already invested into those games.
Fortnite is hardly a spring chicken at this point, and it itself was basically just a last-minute deviation to try and get on the
Battle Royale train.
What's that game called? The shooter game that started all of this survival shootery thing.
Well, yeah, it started with H1Z1, and then PUBG was the first like real super standalone BR, and then like PUBG was like H1Z1 walked and PUBG ran, basically. PUBG was the real one.
God help me, I don't even know now.
True.
It's PUBG.
My interest in this particular genre is zero.
Arma, maybe?
Yep, no, still can't remember. Anywho.
No.
And Minecraft, which is older still. Like, Minecraft was a topic when I was in school, goddammit. Like, clearly,
almost
the
was for
industry
me.
isn't particularly... The Sims, goddamn you. The Sims as a franchise is ancient.
Yeah, it's like the 90s.
League of Legends,
SimCity.
God help me.
What is this accent?
Actually, no.
This
The
is
video
not
game industry
British,
is
dude.
not very volatile. It's rather sedentary.
This is not
And what
Scottish,
becomes
man.
hits
Yeah.
is actually fairly easy to predict because the majority of the market right now are casuals.
No way, dude.
And here's the problem, though.
And that's another thing that's happened, like now that because gaming is so much more like,
Most people that play games are on phone. Most gamers are mobile gamers. Everybody plays on phone.
accessible, that you have to make games more casual, and that's why you're seeing games that have like a lot of these like casual features, and you know they're built kind of like for esports to an extent, but they're also made for very casual players because most people are going to be casual players just by a natural bell curve, you know. Most people are going to end up in the middle.
Creatures of habit. This makes it very difficult for new contenders to get into this field. It is very difficult for an outside company to try and create Fortnite because, well, Fortnite already exists. And thus, nobody is going to switch over from Fortnite to your alternative unless your alternative is absolutely mind-blowingly amazing.
This is one thing that Genshin has right now. Like, there's a lot of games that are coming out that are like Genshin Impact. Like, you saw Tower of Fantasy. There's that Azure Lane game. There's Wuthering Waves. There's Project Mugen. And all of these games functionally play the same. And they are basically the same game. And I would argue that probably, I haven't really played Genshin, but there's probably some things that these games do better than Genshin. I'm sure that there are a handful of things that are...
But, like, it's especially the thing that people care about is playing with your friends. And also, when you pour $1,000 fucking dollars and getting one useless character, right? You're not gonna keep that to yourself, right? You're gonna share. And if you play one of those other games, nobody cares, dude. So you need to play the popular game.
It exists that way.
Spend $1,000 on that shit.
People have already invested into Genshin Impact. So are they going to abandon all of their waifus in Genshin Impact to go play this new game? No. Oh, fuck that. Bro, No, never. You would never abandon Hu Tao, would you? Absolutely not. So you're stuck in that game.
Somehow manages to tickle the pickle of the casual audience even more so. And this can happen on occasion with Call of Duty, for example, which I do believe was, there you go, Call of Duty Modern Warfare there.
Yeah, no surprise.
Because Call of Duty was once actually the outlier. It was the competitor to Medal of Honor, which was the largest shooter, multiplayer kind of thing. It
was like the 2000s.
And Call of Duty came up from
Modern Warfare.
Appealed.
Modern Warfare 2, whenever they came out. And Modern Warfare 1 completely blew Medal of Honor out of the fucking water. It was not even close. Like, as soon as they brought that shit out, it was like...
Yep.
It was like Fortnite back then. It's like everybody knew they wanted it, but nobody had it. Modern Warfare comes out, and it's like, yes, bro.
Yep.
I
played with my brother when I was little.
And then Modern Warfare 2 came out, you know.
As well.
Never played
There it is.
Now, Medal of Honor, most
fun. I
people
was
probably
like
don't
8
even
years
remember
old.
that it was a franchise.
Yeah, it was.
So it is
This is like the
possible,
mid-2000s.
But it depends primarily upon your ability to debase yourself yet further. As the wider market, as we often call it, right?
Yeah.
It is real to a degree. I like to call it, the
Sounds
illusion of the
really fun.
wider market, or the mystical wider market, because
Yeah,
for
the mysterious, mystical mirage of general audiences. The closer you get to a general audience, the more it's not real. Look at Suicide Squad.
majority of titles, it is a false mirage in the desert. To Total
Smart
War,
guy.
for example, the wider market is absolutely a big fat lie because you're a Total War game.
Yeah.
You will never be Fortnite. No matter how hard you try to appeal to the lowest common denominator,
No.
you will never ever reach them because they're going to look at you, a strategy game, huff, spit on you, and get back to playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, people have already
In
decided.
these games, success is more easily achieved.
And also keep in mind that the real problem is that the reason why Fortnite was successful is because it wasn't trying to be PUBG.
Yeah.
The reason why
Building.
Helldivers was successful is
Building
because it
our
wasn't
side.
trying to be Fortnite.
And what the fuck?
The reason
yeah.
why Baldur's Gate 3 was successful is because it wasn't trying to be Elden Ring or Dark Souls. The problem with a lot of these games is also because the developer is looking to cash in on a trend without actually having any sort of like real insight into that trend. They're just looking and they're saying, hey, this is a popular game. I'm going to make this game. It's kind of like streamers. Have you guys ever seen streamers that try to follow metas and they just go and play the most popular game and nobody watches them and it hurts their stream? Because it's actually not a good idea to do that. It's better to double down on something that you're really good at for a core audience of people and then wait for that to, take off. Because it always will.
really need to do is go for your core audience, which is what
It will take
Nintendo
years.
proves again and again and again and again. Why do we have 8 Mario Kart games?
Yeah, it
Because
is.
people like Mario Kart.
Mario.
If you're a variety streamer, that's gonna take fucking years, dude. But that's what I am, so it's gonna take years.
Kart, so perhaps I'm wildly mistaken here, but I do believe
Longer.
that the core gameplay loop of Mario Kart has remained
It's
largely
about the same.
unchanged as
Yeah.
number 1. Why then are there 8 of them? Why are we still making Zelda games? Why are we still making Super Mario Brothers games? Because
People keep liking them.
you have a thing, it has an audience, and you simply keep feeding that audience what it wants year after year after year. That
How
is
many movies with Jason Statham have there been? Oh, I'm retired. Yeah, we know you're retired, but can you do one more job? He says, oh, no, I won't take the job. They said, come on, man. The guys are counting on you. Oh, one more job? Yeah, just one more. All right, I'll do the job. Number 53, 54, 55, and look at Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry makes black comedy movies. The dude is a fucking billionaire. Like, I think people don't even realize how rich Tyler Perry is. Fucking crazy. It's rich as it's insane.
How you build a franchise. Too many developers today
because he gives the
are
people
trying to
what they
become
want.
Fortnite, just overnight, just like that. Oh, hey, we're an enormous success. You're not going to be. The odds of you being the next blow-up success are about 0.00000 ad infinitum 0.1%.
Yeah.
Especially in a market already oversaturated with the next big things. Unless you actually do come up with a completely different next big thing, you're not going to be competing with the already entrenched opposition. I thought we would have learned this lesson via World of Warcraft and the MMO boom, where 98% of those games failed miserably, but...
Well, even now they do, because there's so many MMO games. This is a big problem that MMOs have, is that every MMO is trying to capture something from the past, and none of them are developed towards the future. They're always trying to go back to 1998 or 2004, and they never want to go into the future to 2025, to 2030. And there's never, like, they're always, again, just referential towards what already has been. And again, like, you can't go back. You can't step in the same river twice. You can't do that. And also, guess what happens? That's why I think Riot canceled, or not canceled, but massively delayed their MMO. Because nobody knows right now what is the next big MMO going to be. Nobody knows.
It is the video game industry, and its ability to absorb wisdom and or lessons is equal to that of a brain-damaged goldfish submerged in a tank currently engulfed in electricity and or mustard gas.
Well, that sounds bad.
Water? Anyways, you get the general drift. You need to create the audience. See, Total War didn't become...
Helldivers 2 created an audience. Fall Guys created an audience. Fortnite created an audience. Baldur's Gate 3 created an audience.
Those are unique.
Dark Souls created an audience. Tarkov created an audience. Vampire Survivors, that's such a good example.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors created an audience.
It created a genre.
Big overnight either. It built an audience slowly but surely over time by perfecting the formula.
Yeah, I mean,
the grand strategy in general is a fantastic example of what new developers need to be aiming for.
Yeah.
You need to be aiming for the paradox model. Now, Paradox has gone to hell in a handbasket in and of itself, but the basic idea is build an audience, build a niche, and then construct. And you are not even giving up the possibility of becoming a blow-up success by doing so.
There's a lot of streamers that do this, and I think they do really well. Like, for example, look at Jinxie. Jinxie farms Rainbow Six Siege. He loves the game. He plays it all the time. And eventually it grew his stream. And he does other stuff as well, but he also plays a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. He made the game huge. Yeah, but also he makes the game fun to watch. So, like, Jinxie's a big example because he's really popular, but you've got other people like Zaryu. Look at Zaryu. Zaryu focuses on WoW. He plays a lot of WoW, and he's playing other games too, and he does fitness content, but he focuses on what people really like to see. And I did that with WoW for a long time myself. So you can see a lot of... Look at another really great example is Maximilian Dude. Like, he's been focused on, like, his genre of games and, like, you know, fighting games, like Capcom games, like just general, like, adventure games like that. He's been focused on that for, like, 10 years, man. And he has built that fucking audience, and that's his fucking audience. And I remember whenever Final Fantasy came out, he had, like, over 30,000 people watching him play that. Remember Co-Carnage? Whenever Baldur's Gate 3 came out? Everybody was watching him. And that's a good thing.
Crusader Kings 3. Years after its release,
XQC Overwatch 1, yeah.
Success.
He was the guy.
Helldivers 2, the perfect example. Nobody played Helldivers 1. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying, right?
It wasn't as popular.
Helldivers 2 arrived, and boom! Everywhere. It's now one of the biggest games, and when this list comes out for, you know, 2024, etc., it's probably going to be on it. It's probably going to be
Helldivers will be on the list,
Fortnite,
I think. Yeah.
Actually. You've got to construct
Probably, yeah.
franchise
I haven't even played
video
it.
game developers. You cannot go for one and dump games anymore because the market of hits is
I think this is a really good point. I think he's right. Most games that are really popular are franchises.
Yeah.
probably dead.
And I think the reason why is that people feel more safe investing an unhealthy amount of time into a franchise because there's less of a worry that all of that time is going to be eroded whenever they just make a new game.
Yeah, people, when they play, they like a certain type of game, right? So they play that type of game because they like it, of course. And when a new one comes out, they buy it, they play it, it's the new version. They like that type of game, yeah? Hold on, they do my light. If someone else makes a similar game, sure, it's similar, but it's not that game. So, because it's not a game, people don't know really what is gonna happen. They don't know if they're gonna get the new fucking banger or if they're gonna get scammed. That's why people like being insured of the quality of the game. So they play sequels. Every game nowadays is a sequel. Every game that really does well is a sequel.
Suck to a certain degree, absolutely, because what I'm essentially saying is you've got to make this is my franchise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that hardly.
And I also think that this is a natural outcome of just a game developer existing in capitalism. They made Hollow Knight. Well, Hollow Knight did really well. Well, let's see about Silksong. Yeah, let's make another one. Dark Souls. Well, that went pretty well. People sure like that. All right, well, we'll make another one. Oh, people like the other one? Okay, well, I guess we'll do it again. Fuck. Okay, well, what if we do it in like a with Lovecraft or something? Like, okay. Well, we could do it with Samurai? Okay. Why don't we have like a big game where it's like open world? Okay, let's do that. That's how so many of these games start. Because like if you have one W, well, you're going to keep wanting to farm Ws.
Encourages innovation in the gaming market. And I wish it wasn't so. I wish we could return to the days of, Company of Heroes and Dawn of War, where games would release and they would at least have something special about them, right? Company of Heroes, a revolution in the strategy game market. Dawn of War 2, and one with the killer, the sync kill animations. The sync kill animations weren't anything particularly, revolutionary when you think about it. All it really is that units look cool when they kill each other, but at least it was something, right?
Yeah.
Especially compared to Dawn of War 3 or Company of Heroes, the new one, so on, so on. The key really is to find one thing to innovate on, one thing to advance further, and then continue to building. Helldivers 2 could be used again as another excellent example of this. Helldivers 2, he doesn't reinvent the wheel in any real regards. He simply perfects the extraction shooter formula and adds in.
That's like Elden Ring. Elden Ring didn't really invent a lot of new things. Like from like existing games that they already had. I mean, there was a couple of new things, but it was mainly just a massively perfected version of what already existed. I think a better example of that is Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 didn't really invent a lot of new shit, right?
No,
but
absolutely nothing.
It was really good at what it did.
It was really good at everything.
A couple of cool tidbits here and there, like for example the mini rhythm game almost, where you use your arrow keys to call in call-ins, for example. Call in. Oh, I suppose it's technically correct. That was a brilliant idea because it adds in a tremendous amount of stress to the act of calling an artillery barrage, particularly if you're getting pelted by laser fire as you're doing it. So please, video game developers, stop trying to be Fortnite. You will never be Fortnite. Now, you could potentially eventually become a Fortnite-esque thing if you build on it. And this goes out specifically to Warner Brothers as well. The volatility
and keep in mind that Fortnite at the time, so Fortnite was originally a survival game. And then again, think about that.
Defense.
Fortnite was trying to be like all of the other existing survival games at the time, like DayZ and stuff like that, Arma. And it didn't work. And Fortnite only really began to succeed whenever it stopped being what every other game was. And it's the same thing with Final Fantasy XIV.
I think the original Fortnite could have done well if they actually tried, with the Battle Royale, the building just worked so well with the battle royale, with the fast-paced combat. It just worked so well, and they basically made a tower defense that had building, which was really fun idea, but they did like nothing with it. The building was too simplistic, so all the complexity of the game came in the zombie horde shooting, but that's not unique. Why would you play Fortnite, the zombie horde shooter, when you could play an already established zombie horde shooter, right? Because the building just didn't add that much. It should have added way more to the gameplay, to the point where it was more of a tower defense game rather than just shooting a bunch of zombies with a gun. And maybe then it would have worked out. But they just got like saved. They got saved by Battle Royale.
I feel like Final Fantasy XIV really started to pop off when it stopped trying to be like WoW.
The franchise is set in goddamn stone. It is simply that you are trying to compete with stone on being hard. And thus, unless you happen to be a diamond, you're probably going to lose out. Especially when you have a tremendous amount of potential IP power like Warner Brothers. What you need to try to do is be Mario Brothers rather than Fortnite. And this goes out to all of the smaller developers as well. If you're making a game, make it for your audience first. Once you've constructed...
This is why I think Wrath was kind of bad too. Is that Wrath of the Lich King tried to appeal to people that weren't MMO players. The moment that you start making content for people that aren't your audience, that's whenever you start to fail.
Base, then you can build on that base. And once you have a loyal fan base, they will almost never ever abandon you, even if you repeatedly and consistently abuse the shit out of them. Which again, Total War has so neatly and thoroughly proved. Oh, God help me, Total War. It used to be a great franchise. Used to be. Though,
yeah, in 2007.
You can only beat a dog for so long until it starts biting you back, I suppose. As I've been playing the Lord of the Rings mod for Medieval 2 quite a lot recently, and whilst it is definitely designed for people who have played a lot more Medieval 2 recently than I have, and thus certainly has some mildly unfair elements to it. Just the act of playing Medieval 2 again is incredibly zen. Like, the game just feels so much
Medieval 2. Is that old game with the skull guy with the sword? Holy fuck. Damn. I haven't thought about that ever since I was in Target in the year 2005.
I don't know this. This must be a Balder thing. They're Balding,
the
so
pacing
they know
of it,
about
the
this.
interface, all of it just... It's like coming home. It's a
Wii
warm
and the
Total
DS.
War, not Medieval.
After the
Well, either
trials
way.
and tribulations of
classics.
modern day
I
Total
haven't heard
War
about that game a lot
Barrow.
either.
I guess even building the franchise can go wrong on occasion if you forget about your actual audience. But still, that, in my opinion, is the takeaway of this. Don't try to be Fortnite.
No.
Try to be, if anything, Medieval 2.
Try to be yourself.
Or
Just
perhaps
be
try to
yourself,
in
guys.
general.
That's all you need to do. Just be yourself.
9.6
Be unique
years,
and
eh?
good. And
Honestly,
not
I was
garbage.
hoping for it to be
That's it.
more on PC.
Be unique,
Do let me know what
and
you
not
think there in the
garbage.
comment section
Or
below
be
as well. This is
insanely
an
good.
interesting little topic.
but that's not gonna
when it
happen. so
actually
just
comes
be
to like
unique and not
the
garbage.
oldness of it, that in and of itself is kind of a non sequitur in my opinion, because of course game design, again, to be played forever, will be played forever. Not to mention...
Not if the game's bad. Look at Suicide Squad. I think that, again, like, people will lose interest in live service games, but it depends on how the game is managed.
When you are looking at top-played games as
You
well
also
over a
need to
year,
update the game
unless you are looking at
consistently
flash in the pans, the
most of the time.
miracles like Helldivers 2, you're unlikely going to be dethroning anything like Fortnite.
No, you're not.
Until next time, I have been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching.
It's a good video.
And I hope to see you all again soon.
True.
Yeah,
Good
I-
video.
Good day.
I wanted to talk about this that article that was written about like the old games, and like I'm actually really glad he talked about it, because I feel like it's very interesting. There's the video. Like I like this guy's commentary a lot. This is like probably the second or third video of his that I've watched. It's really good. And so yeah,
True.
he thinks about things at least I think a lot the same way that I do, at least in some cases. And so in general,
He
what I
thinks
think
about
happened,
things.
and like by
That's
the way,
at least
people are
something.
asking why I thought they made Wrath for
Yeah,
non-MMO
that's not-
gamers.
You're not gonna get that.
Catch-up mechanics were way too high.
That's why.
The raid
That's why
difficulties
I told you in the
were
last video,
consolidated and
just
turned into
keep
10-mans
scrolling, man.
to accommodate people
is
that
not
didn't
it.
like large group play.
This
And
is not
leveling
it,
was made less valid and less important through heirlooms. Those are like just 3 examples. Like I can obviously come up with other ones, but like Group Finder later on, etc. But like those are examples that I have. And so yeah. Anyway, I think that there's a lot of games, and this is the issue that games like Suicide Squad are running into, and I think this is also an issue that things like Star Wars Outlaw runs into, is that
Another
they see
random
what
scratch.
succeeds in the market,
Or
and
what?
they're not
Like,
able
another
to
random
correctly
scratch.
dissect why they succeed.
That's why I'm blowing on it.
So they see, oh yeah, this is really popular. A lot of people like this. Well, oh, okay. Well, if a lot of people like it, let's just go do it. But they don't know why they like it. They don't know why people are doing it. And because of that, well, guess what? People don't really give a shit as much. And that's what ends up happening.
Okay, let me check this out, dude. Store. Please don't leak my hold on. Please don't leak my shit. I want to check out if the Silk Song shit has a thing. World. What is this? Hold on. Okay, is the Silk Song thing? What? Wishlist. Did they upload it? I swear they uploaded this shit, right? Did they change anything? Huh? They didn't change shit. Bro. They didn't change shit. Yeah, what the fuck? They didn't even... Did I get fucking trolled again by these fucking YouTubers that like beat the boss every day until this? You trolled me again with this shit. You fucking trolled me again. There is no fucking change. There is no change. I'm fucking sick of this shit. Come on, just release the fucking game already. I'm getting sick. And Elden Ring is gonna release their DLC in like less than a year. Release the game, please. Please, I'm begging you. Please, please, please. Release the game. Release the game.